My name is Heatherly, and when I was deciding what I wanted my capstone to be, I knew that I wanted to work with kids because I loved kids and I wanted to work to impact their lives. When I was deciding what I wanted my capstone to be, I had a very hard time with my thought process. I knew that I wanted to work with children, I wanted to impact their lives, but I didn't know in what way. I wanted to either be a big sister or coach a basketball team because I knew that I wanted to do something because I loved basketball, I loved kids. My mom wanted me to be a big sister because she was more worried about time management. She knew that being a big sister, I could do it on my own schedule. I didn't have to worry about being like too busy and not putting enough hours. But I wanted to be a coach because I knew that I was passionate about basketball. I played basketball since I was 5, and that was what I really loved. We were playing Catholic in a basketball team last January when I was a junior, and it was a tough game. We won on a buzzer beater. We run to the locker room, and we're sitting there, and our assistant coach comes to us and says, "Everyone go on the court." And we're all nervous, like, oh no, we're about to run bleachers, we're about to run suicides in front of all the parents. We get out there, and as soon as I see the challenger athletes, I break down. I just cry. And I knew that that's where my heart was, that was my passion, and I knew that I wanted to help work with KCS and that be my capstone. So I ran to the locker room, called Hayden Tanner, whose capstone it was last year, and asked him how I could be a part of it. And soon found out that it was baseball season, so I went straight, started working with them last baseball season, and met my mentor, Nick. I'll talk about him later, but learned about him, learned that it was a nonprofit corporation that was devoted and designed to help special needs children play all different kinds of sports. They play golf, basketball, baseball, swimming, bowling, cheerleading. They play all different sports. It was established more than 20 years ago, and now they have over 100 participants. And they are working to get the word out more, and their goal is to have over 200 participants. When I decided that I wanted to work with Knoxville Challenger Sports, I did have a lot of fears and concerns. I was mostly worried about time management because playing basketball and with school and everything, I was very worried that I wasn't going to have enough time to devote to help these children. I was also worried about the relationships that I would build with them. I was a CDC helper at Halls Middle School my 7th and 8th grade year, and I loved those kids. I went to Special Olympics with them, went on all the field trips with them. I built a special bond with those kids and just loved them so much, and I was very worried that I wasn't going to build that bond with these challenger athletes. I did have a few expectations, but not a lot. I knew that I had to be kind to them and to love them just like I would love anyone else. I knew I had to treat them like I would treat anyone else and care for them and love them and just show them that they are just as human as the rest of us. So whenever I first went to KCS, as you can see in the left picture, my parents went with me because my dad, he coached me in basketball all throughout my life. Both my parents love children, love kids as much as I do, and I knew that with their help that I could really put the love and time that I needed with these athletes. Although I hope that I impacted their lives, they tremendously impacted mine. At first, I didn't think that it would be much impact on me. I thought it was more of my job to impact them, but they impacted me in so many different ways. They first showed me that God loves each and every one of us, no matter what our differences are, that we're all so special and that God loves us all equal, and He loves us even with our differences, and that God has also given us each different talents to tap into, and that no matter what limitations that we think we may have, that God has promised us that he would withhold no good thing from us as long as we walk upright with him. And like these challenger athletes are a shining example of how God promises and what he promises us. I did have a few, I had a lot of important lessons, but the main two were letting go of grudges and just like learning to forgive others. I would mess up all the time with the athletes. I would tell them to go sit on a bench that they were not supposed to sit at. I would tell them to shoot on a goal that they were not supposed to shoot at. And I would say, I would tell them to go out on the court and play basketball. And then Nick, my mentor, would get very mad at them and yell at them and chew them out. And when I knew it was my fault, and I would go and apologize and all this stuff, and they would still run and hug me and love me and say, like just be as happy and love me as much as they did before I made the mistake. And through it all, I just learned that life's too short, and life's too short to even hold grudges, and that those athletes, if they could forgive me after not even like for telling them the wrong thing to do, and that they got chewed out for something that I did, that I know that I could learn and forgive others for what that I've done to them and what they've done to me. I would have a few changes. I wish that I could have known about KCS my freshman year. I wish I would have started it as soon as I got into high school. I also wish that I could have spread the word more. I wish that I could have, as soon as I learned about it, put posters up at the halls, talk about it, hand out flyers. I wish that I could have let everyone know about KCS and how much I loved it and how much it impacted me. I also wish that I could have started like an interclass incentive, like the most people that from each grade that went and volunteered with baseball or basketball, that I could have bought them Chick-fil-A breakfast or something, because I knew that if they went, because I know people are busy with their lives and like sports and school and stuff, but I knew if they went and took the chance to go and help with the athletes, that they would fall in love with them as much as I did. My mentor was Nick Arning. He was a Marine Corps, and he is an insurance agent, which is very important. He, without his insurance, KCS would not be a corporation that it is. He insures all of KCS, all of the sports, everything. They actually did not want to do swimming or cheerleading because they said that they would all drown in swimming, that cheerleading they would try to tumble and get hurt. And he worked so hard and did everything he could to get the insurance to insure these athletes. Although everyone said it'd be too big of a liability, he did, because he has so much passion for them, that he went ahead and insures all the sports. He is also a coach. He coaches every sport, every team. He's overall. He always walks around, makes sure everything's good. But most importantly, he is a dad to these kids. He loves them and treats them like they're his own kids. He loves them and hugs them, but he'll also get mad at them. He told one boy about a year ago to not hit a home run. The boy went up and hit a home run, and Nick chewed him out and kicked him out of the whole program. Said that he disobeyed him and that he treats them like they're his own child, but he's also very loving on these kids. I had many opportunities working with these athletes. One of the main opportunities I had was to go down to Pilot. Pilot is very, very important to Knoxville Challengers because they donate thousands of dollars. They have every year they have this thing called Pennies for Push-Ups, and it's where the Pilot Corporation will donate so much money equal to how many push-ups their coworkers will do. And this year they raised over $15,800 alone just this year, and they had a big event happen. They gave out all kinds of snacks to the kids, all different equipment. They gave out gloves, baseball bats, basketballs, bags, big packs of water, like everything to these kids with that money as in addition to the over $15,000. And And it was an honor to meet Jim Haslam and his passion for these Challenger athletes. He loves the kids so much, and he works so hard to raise this money for them. And it's just amazing to see his passion for these kids and that he loves them as much as I do. Another opportunity I had was at CAK. They played again this year at CAK this past January. And I got the opportunity to spread the word about KCS. I talked to Mr. Estes about the gate money, and he donated all, it was over $600 gate money to the Knoxville Challenger corporation. And another opportunity I had was they played at the University of Tennessee last year and this year during halftime. Every year, ESPN has the top 3 halftime shows out of the whole entire year that they liked, and that was their favorite. And KCS actually got on the top 3 of all the SEC halftime shows, which was an amazing opportunity to spread the word throughout all of the whole United States. And the last opportunity I had was to work with, let's see. Was to work with yeah, and I can see it on here.
Can you see it there?
Yeah, I can see it.
You start there, flip it around.
Okay.
Welcome back. Live at 5 at 4 likes to showcase what's positive in our community, and that includes students. Every month, we feature a young person in East Tennessee who makes a real difference. Here's Emily Stroud with what makes Amber Heatherly a 10 Rising Heart.
The yearbook at Christian Academy of Knoxville features a lot of pictures of Amber Heatherly, an academic and basketball standout. She is a 4-year starter who scored more than 1,000 points this season.
I have played basketball since I was 5. I love the sport. I love just the physicalness of it. I love the team, the girls around it. I have had lifelong friends since I was 5 and still have them today.
She can score, she can rebound, she does a lot of little things for the team, and she's very unselfish.
Coach Caitlin Hollifield isn't surprised that Amber embraced Challenger sports when the team played a game at CAK last year. The organization offers different team sports to people with special needs.
I fell in love with the children. They were so amazing, so special, so talented. Hayden Tanner, a senior last year, it was his capstone, and as soon as the game ended, I texted him and was like, I want to continue that capstone for mine.
When she chose her capstone, to see her heart for the Challenger program and just what it means to her, and when they came and played in their basketball game this year, just when she had tears in her eyes and just the passion.
The capstone is a service project for seniors at CAK. For Amber, it is much more than a school assignment.
I can still love the kids that I care for so much, but also show them the sport that I love and incorporate both of those together.
Amber adds an extra touch. She's a young adult, and some of these kids are young adults as well, and they can relate with them much better than an old man saying, here's what you need to do.
Nick Arning says Challenger sports participants admire her athletic talent, but her volunteer work goes beyond teaching ball handling.
She's good at sitting on the bench with them right now and just talking to them. What'd you do today? What'd you have for lunch? Just regular conversation you and I have that they don't always get if they're at home or by themselves, and lots of times at school they don't have it.
Mostly they just like to have someone to talk to, ask them about their day, just feel loved and feel that they're just as special as everyone else is.
Amber plans to focus on academics next year at the University of Tennessee with a major in business and accounting, and she will continue to volunteer with Challenger Sports.
They love her. They look forward to her coming to the games, and we intend to use her all this baseball season doing the same thing.
She's going to be successful at anything she does because obviously life is a lot about relationships, and so Amber succeeds at that.
I'm Emily Stroud, live at 5 at 4.
What an incredible young lady, and what an impact she is making. BIR.com.
Okay, let's see. And so, in the future, I do plan to go to University of Tennessee. Part of the reason why I decided to go there was to stay close to these athletes. I definitely plan on working with them all through college, even after I graduate, if it's still around. I plan to be a full-time coach. I plan to coach basketball and baseball full-time, especially since I don't have basketball this year. And I plan to minor in education, so if it's God's will, that I will be a special needs teacher whenever I graduate college. That's my capstone.